Guys, and welcome to a summer reading vlog. We're at the beach this morning, and I really want to start Spectacular Things by Beck Dorstein. I think that's how you say it. I've seen this everywhere. Obviously, the cover, we're at the beach. It's the perfect book to start. It is set in a small Maine town, so while I'm at like a California typical beach, I mean, just imagine, you know what I mean? Just like set the scene, imagine. So we are going to start this right now.
Open air, side by side we sway there in all the colors.
I just pulled into a new coffee shop. I actually have had one of their matchas before, but I haven't been to a location, so I'm hoping that this has some good seating because I really want to read a good chunk of Spectacular Things today. I really don't know how much reading I'll do here, but overall I don't have work today, so I'm hoping we get into the thick of this book. I haven't done any more reading on it, so I would love to reach maybe like the halfway point today. We'll see. For now, let's go into this place called Crisp and get a matcha. I have an important reading update for you guys. Last night I finished Spectacular Things. I was so locked in with this story. I didn't read all that much at the coffee shop, but by the time I got home and I was settled, I started listening to it. I was reading alongside it, but anytime I had to get up and go do something where I couldn't be physically reading, I kept my audiobook in because I was so invested in this story. It was just so gripping and so well told. I think I really liked Cricket's story as a competitive athlete that grew up with different goals in mind, and seeing kind of Cricket grow into this very competitive but also very talented soccer player, and all the World Cup stuff happening right now. Like, I think I was really enjoying seeing Cricket's story. At the same time, we were seeing Mia, who is the older sister, and how her role in the family impacts everything, and then getting the glimpse of essentially their mom's history and them as adults, like learning more about their mom and coming to terms with a lot of things, and how all these decisions affect stuff down the road. I think what I enjoyed most about this story, and what I encourage everyone like having that mindset going into it, is just the fact that your goals can change and it doesn't equal failure. That was such a huge part that I took from this, and I think as especially a competitive athlete, like I definitely like grew up thinking this is the path I'm on, and then understanding as I grew up, like just because I wasn't doing that or I wanted to maybe stop going down that path, like that doesn't equal failure. It's just me growing as a person, having different life experiences, changing what I want out of my life. Like that was something that was huge for me, and just learning like the career paths I want to take, the relationships I want to have with friends and family, the relationship I want to have with myself, and then on top of that, all the sports side. So we kind of see that battle with both of our characters, and just kind of what that means as they grow and as they have more life happen. So I really enjoyed the sisterhood. I really enjoyed the story. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It was a great summertime read, but I think this story could be read at any point in the year. So definitely check out Spectacular Things. If you have seen it around and it sounds interesting to you, you could totally check it out from your library. I listened to the audiobook from Libby and I really liked it, and then obviously I did buy it, but you could totally just read it from the library. But this was such a good one. I'm glad we started with this. I have no idea what I want to read next, so I will come back to you when I figure that out. Good morning. Last night I decided on a whim to pick up the Sunday Garden. I wanted to kind of just read the first couple chapters and see if it was a story that I wanted to be reading right now. Yes. Yes, it is, because I accidentally read 40% last night. I could not put it down, but I definitely have a lot of thoughts about this book, so let's talk about it. we're essentially following our main female character, who I hesitate to say internship because it's like a full-grown adult with like getting paid for this effort, but she is a gardener for this like New York institute, and there's this opportunity presenting itself in Lilymore Estate in Maine, and she is going there for the summer to kind of help get it back to its glory state. And I think there's like a big number anniversary happening. I just can't remember what the like year is, but there's a big like anniversary situation happening, and so she's sent there to kind of like get it back in tip-top shape. And you are following her in this very whimsical garden, and for those that don't follow Ashley Poston's writing close enough, like there's always a magical realism element to her stories. So the magical realism here is that in the garden, no matter where you are, sometimes this like blue door can pop up, and she like goes in and she's like, where the hell am I? And because like it's not always there, or it changes location, like she's just so confused on like, what is this other part of this garden? And there's a man there, and they're not really understanding like what's going on. So you're like following that magical realism element, and then on the other side there's also a guy there. And you're like, okay. But I'm kind of confused as a reader on what I'm supposed to be rooting for. Like there is this very, very subplot romance that I'm confused about, and I'm 40% confused about, so I don't really like love that, because I feel like anytime then we kind of like hint at this maybe potential romance, it's just kind of like taking me out of the story. And then there's also this tone of grief here, but because it's not like a main focus and it's not like talked about enough to me, I'm like, why is it even in this story? Like I don't think it's really adding to this story. I feel like we're just trying to like give the character depth when it doesn't really make sense if you're not gonna involve it the way that you should in a story. Like I just like don't love every aspect of this. At the same time, I love Ashley Poston's writing because it is very just easy to read and get into the story, and I love like the garden aspect of this. Like her stories are so whimsical, and I love where we're at in this setting and world, if that makes sense. There's just definitely subplots going on that I'm like, I don't really know if I like need you here. Like I would just love a great story about her in this whimsical garden with a mysterious door leading to another part of the garden where we're just confused about what's going on. You know, like where's this garden at? Like I would really just love that, if I'm honest. So mixed feelings here, but I am having a good time overall, and I do hope to actually finish it today. I have some other plans and things going on, so probably can't pick this up until later on in the afternoon, but that's my reading update. Very excited to pick this up and finish it today, because I want to see if the last 60% really like brings out all these subplots in a way that like makes sense and kind of like makes my rating higher, because right now I'm just like so on the fence of how I feel about it. So I will update you guys later when we can pick up Sunday Garden. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I really enjoyed the second half of the Sunday Garden. I feel like I definitely liked it more than the first half, because the first half felt like there was just that extra stuff that I discussed that I didn't really love. In the second half, we kind of cleaned that up a bit and the things made sense. I liked that we really had this whimsical element throughout this entire story. I think reading this during the spring and summer is definitely the right move, because you have this beautiful manor and estate with just kind of what I envision as like this unruly wildflower garden taking over, and these keepers and gardeners are bringing it to life and cleaning it up for this 200th anniversary. But it's still such a beautiful, magical place that everyone loves, and I just love this idea of making everything kind of pristine again and bringing it back to its glory state everywhere. And I just really liked it. I really liked the whimsical garden and the whimsical someday garden. I loved the messaging, of course. In this, we have different elements of, how do I describe it? Like, there's more to life than your work, and like, there's more to life than doing something that makes you unhappy, and kind of finding the joys in life again through different hardships or different circumstances that kind of just weigh heavy on you. So I love that this, while technically had elements of grief, it was not a heavy book. It was not something that just like, oh, like this just like aches to read. Like, no, it was just a very fun, beautiful story for the summer, and I just really enjoyed how everything came together. I'm probably gonna give this like a 3.5, 3.75, because for the first half I really did have issues with kind of a majority of the book, but there was like still this element that kept me reading, and that definitely worked out in the end. So I do recommend it. I do recommend The Someday Garden by Ashley Poston. Just kind of like know different elements of it, and if you are kind of hesitant in that first half, I believe it gets much better. So hello Milo. So that's kind of my thoughts on The Someday Garden. I think I've just found the most perfect book to end this reading vlog, and that is the reimagining of Thornwood House. It screams cozy fantasy, but the cover being so bright and colorful definitely makes me think of summer. So I really want to get to this. It says at the top, a witch and her young ward discover a magical walking house and learn the true meaning of home in this cozy, enchanting novel. Say less. That's all I'm gonna read. I've probably read the full synopsis at some point, but I love like a little synopsis of the synopsis. That gives me kind of the vibe I'm getting into, and that's all I need to know. So we're gonna start the reimagining of Thornwood House. Okay, on my first reading update on the reimagining of Thornwood House, first of all, just thinking about this house in the illustration, and that's kind of what they are walking into, I love it. I literally love it. It's so cute and quirky, and effectively, this witch and her young ward discover a magical walking house. No, literally. They go to basically become the new caretakers of this home, but the house is in mourning, essentially, of its last caretaker, and it walked away. They went to the house's location that was supposed to be, and it had walked away. Like, could you imagine? And it's so funny looking at this, and it has like those two, like, stumps. Just, what do you mean? I love it. It is very cozy fantasy-esque. It is so cool the use of magic here, and like the commonality of witches in the community and the different types of magic. You're seeing our main female character, the main like witch, has like kind of earthy magic, and then her ward, which they have a familial, is that the right word, like type of relationship where, yes, the 11-year-old girl is like her ward at the same time. Like, they want more, they want to be a true family, and you're just seeing all of that in here as well, and like the warm fuzzies. I love it. I love it. I want to make sure that I'm not spoiling anything. Okay, yeah, everything that I said is in the synopsis, so we are good. I don't remember if I said it, but I'm on chapter 10, which is about 100 pages into the story, so I'm basically a quarter of the way through it, I believe. Definitely flying through it. I was kind of listening at a slower speed towards like the end of my workday, but now that work's done, I want to sit here and like hybrid read and really read a good chunk of this tonight. I don't plan to finish it. I don't want to like completely rush through it, but I'd like to read a good chunk today so that I can finish it tomorrow. So we will see. But for now, I'm having a good time, and I'm really enjoying the cozy fantasy vibe of this, because I'm not typically a cozy fantasy kind of girl, but we'll see if this changes my mind. Hello, hi, good morning. I have one final update to give because I really want to finish this book, but it felt wrong to update you guys a quarter of the way through it and then only once I finished it. So before I get reading this morning, I reached the 75% mark. I was absolutely flying through this book and it was just so cozy in what I wanted. You know what I want this book to be? Like a solid 4-star. Like I just want a fun, entertaining story, not that deep, not that serious, and like one that doesn't actually hold a lot of depth because I just want kind of this surface level cozy book. And that's what this is giving me, and I'm having such a good time with it. I am really liking our main female character as she's navigating this wackadoodle house, and also the like underlying mystery of just kind of why the house is reacting to these extremes in the grief of losing its previous caretaker. Like, not sure the level of reactivity that we're getting is normal, and so not only is our new caretaker, our main female character, finding out kind of what's going on, but also the townspeople are very familiar with the house and the witches and all the things, and they're like, just something doesn't feel right. And I really like that kind of just easygoing mystery that we're following. So I'm just gonna keep on going. I'm gonna finish it this morning. I probably have like a little over an hour worth of reading, not that much. So I just want to knock it out this morning, and I'm so excited. Officially finished the reimagining of Thornwood House, and this was exactly what I needed and wanted it to be, because to me, a cozy fantasy is a story that has multiple facets to it, multiple kind of like little subplots, little moments going on, but it doesn't dive too deep into any of them. It's very like easy on your brain to process, especially with a standalone novel. That's how I felt here, and it was exactly what I wanted. So we are following Evie and Ruby, Evie being that adult witch, and then Ruby being the younger witch in the making that Evie has basically treated as her own from the beginning for years now, and they want to become a family. She wants to go through with this adoption process, but there's obstacles in her way, so that's something you know in the synopsis, and you are facing that story on top of now this new caretaker position they are undergoing and figuring out what's wrong with this house. There seems to be more than just it grieving its lost caretaker. And then you also have this very small subplot of romance, but it's not a romance story. So you're just getting these little breadcrumbs, not like a slow burn, more like, oh, like that's so cute. That's such a sweet moment. Like, I think these two characters are gonna end up together in the end. Like, it's not the forefront of this book. And then you also just have this small town feel with like very much a Scooby-Doo-esque, where you have these unsuspected like villains, unexpecting heroes as well. And I just feel like it was such a well-rounded, fun, standalone, cozy fantasy. So if this has been on your radar, I highly recommend. And I feel like it would be a really good transition from summer to fall read. It's the way this reading vlog was absolute perfection, because I feel like it really encompassed my summer vibe, which is getting to the beach, getting to the pool, but also it's 90 degrees and I don't want to die of a heat stroke. So I love cozying up on the couch with my air conditioning on and reading a good book. So I feel like we got all facets of how I love to spend my summer and how I love to read. So I hope you guys found some great books. I feel like it was such a successful reading vlog and so many amazing reads. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.